Welcome to your goniometer tutorial. So when you do this measure, you're going to want to ensure that the joint that you're trying to measure at, where everything's articulating at, is at the center of the goniometer. From there, you're going to anchor one arm and landmark it to another part of the body that isn't moving, and then move the other arm in line with the body part that's moved, okay? So in this particular measurement, what we're going to look at is a active range of motion. So Maddie, my volunteer here, is going to be moving her leg through the range of motion under her own power and her own strength. For fun, we're going to see what a passive range of motion is for Maddie on the same measure. Just follow your lab manuals as far as which one you need to do for the lab activities, okay? So for hip, in particular, we're going to be looking at the hamstring, which goes over the hip. We're going to instruct Maddie to keep her knee straight so that she's not bending her knee, because that's going to shorten the hamstring. And then we're going to start landmarking certain structures to be able to place the goniometer in the right place. So I'm going to look for her greater trochanter. So again, that's the part of the femur that sticks out the side of her hip. And I'd say probably right around here. Yeah? Feel about right? Good. So that's where the center of the goniometer is going to go. Then I'm going to palpate the lateral epicondyle of her knee. That's down here. I can also just eyeball it, take a look. I know that's roughly where the side of her knee is. And now I have my anchor point running along the side of her leg. Okay. So once I have that set up, I'm going to say, okay, Maddie, could you please elevate your leg through range of motion? I'm going to leave the anchor arm where it is, move the measurement arm, and again, keeping in line with the same landmarks that I had my anchor arm at. And I'm going to take a look here. And so that's moved my... Thanks, yes. Come on back down. So what that's done is moved the measurement arm along one of the 3 to 4 different scales that you have on the goniometer. Okay? So this one in particular, as you can see, it started off at 0 on the black indicator. And this, as I follow along, has now gone up to, looks like about 85 degrees up here, okay? So wherever the indicator arm starts at, and you move it along, always figure out where 0 is first and move from there. Occasionally, you can also use the other end. So again, just figure out where 0 is when you start, move the arm, and then follow that scale to the point where your new measurement's at. Do a second variation of the active leg raise for hamstring leg, which again, we found was about 90 degrees, it was 85, and that's right dead on at the top range for hamstring range of motion. But now we're going to see what passive is. So passive is when Maddie essentially relaxes the leg muscles, relaxes her hamstring, and we're going to move her leg into a position. I'm going to get Maddie to do it mostly. If you're doing this with someone, always ask, okay, how close am I getting? And you move through that range slowly. We've practiced this stretch before, and so like I have a good idea where we can take her leg to, but again, always check in with your client as far as their comfort level. Some people are going to settle into to have a tighter muscle a lot quicker than you'd expect, and so you don't want to injure them, so that's why you go nice and slow. Okay, so whenever you're ready, you can go ahead. Again, I know roughly where the landmarks are, so yeah, go ahead. Great, again, keeping the knee nice and straight. Good. Back, good. And then do you need any more passive assistance, or yeah?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah?
That's
Okay.
it.
Good. So again, I know where my horizontal landmark is. I know where the greater trochanter is. It's right here. So really from there, I just need to move the movement arm to be in line that lateral epicondyle on her knee. Okay? So again, making sure the anchor arm is horizontal. Pivot point is on greater trochanter. And the measurement arm moves up. Great. Thank you. And yeah, sure enough, you can see after we go from 0 up to, looks like 125, that it's significantly more than it was with the active range. And again, if you think back to lectures to why that might be, there's a lot of different tissues in and around the joint space, as well as Maddie's nervous system that's activating muscular tone when she's being active versus passive. So all of those are going to play an influence in range of motion. Thanks.